My name is Courtney, and I am the digital marketing ambassador for Cow-op, which means that I do their social media and create some print ad material, flyers, anything that we kind of need to share the good word about what we do. Cow-op's a non-profit cooperative online farmers market, so it has over 70 members, which is pretty cool. They all work together to load the website up. Works like a farmer's market, so the earlier you come to the website, the more likely you are to get amazing produce. And today we are cooking up a Hobbit lunch. Hobbit lunches, to me, are just anything that you make out of what you find in the garden or on Cow-op and you get in your order. Today we're doing new potatoes, kale, cherry tomatoes, garlic, big clove of red Russian garlic, and some eggs, some microgreens, and some yashi dressing. And it's all coming from Cowichan Valley, except for the shallot. I'm not sure where that's from, and I'm not sure where the olive oil is from, but we're doing our best to cook as locally as possible.
What's with these boys and visions? My eyeballs keep on spinning. Indecisive intuition. Can't make up a decision.
Something that I really like about Cow-op is that my food is generally traveling less than 100 kilometers to get to me. When you compare that to the average sort of North American meal, you have 2,400 kilometers of travel. Generally, that includes air travel. That means that, you know, it's been possibly weeks since your food was picked and put to your table. And usually if you shop at a grocery store, you're looking at ingredients from 5 different countries. So, you know, today our meal is possibly only one ingredient from a different country, being olive oil, because the shallot's from around here, I just don't know where. What else do we talk about? Okay. I can run with that.
Okay.
I can run with that. One of the things that I hope to see more of in terms of the future of food is to see more of these collective and cooperative models. So in Cow-op's case, you can go online looking for an ingredient and one farmer might not have it and another farmer will, and they will work together to bring you the things that you need to get through the season, to get through the winter. You do have to adapt your expectations. You're not going to find avocados or mangoes on Cow-op, but when you start thinking about your place in the ecosystem that you live in, it becomes a lot easier to start cooking seasonally. So when we shot a majority of this series, we were shooting in March, and we got a lot of shots of greenhouses with stuff starting to sprout. And now I'm cooking later into the summer, and we're eating the fruits of that labor. So if you've watched other episodes, you'll be able to see the beginning of this food and the effort and the thought that goes into the timeline, because these things were seeded in February and tended by somebody all the way to the point where I get to eat them today. Your favorite thing you can get on Cow-op?
Probably the garlic. I have never seen garlic anywhere else like the garlic that grows here. It's amazing.
And it's like multiple layers of local.
What's your favorite thing you can get on Cow-op?
That's a good one. I go back and forth. I have a lot of different favorites. I mean, I like, honestly, when I'm working long hours, I like a lot of the pre-made meals. And so everything from Farm Skate is really great. I really like the beef stroganoff from Barnes & Miracle. The Wizard grinder from Fat Chili is like an amazing product. It's just like the perfect amount of spice. I put that stuff on everything. And then, I mean, every producer has, or I mean, a lot of our farmers have their appealing produce for me that come in and out through the seasons too. Like Wissingwell spinach is an amazing one, and the Hoffman's greens. And I like to get greens from all sorts of producers because they're all really good. Yeah.
So it's
It's weird. Because it's not really all that prevalent in like people who come from Northern European histories, but those of us who come from Eastern European histories or who are racialized, food is very much a part of our culture. We gather over it, we share over it. We have our children in our kitchens from the time they're like, it's just everyone participates in food. It's where we make our connections, and our bodies are also evolve, like not only spiritually but physically. Our diets are like encoded into our DNA, and so even if we're not quite sure what we're missing, once we lose that cultural connection or that appropriateness food, our bodies react in ways that like we have issues with blood sugar regulation, or we just feel sad and we don't understand why, but it's because like that whole food is it's family, it's home, it's comfort, it's a place where we can sit down and gather. And I come from a culture where you go to someone's house and you're not allowed to help them. Like you sit and you can talk, but you eat, and if you refuse to eat, you're being rude, right? Like that's just the way it is, and that's how we bond.
Some of the challenges that face Cow-op is getting people to know what it's about and getting people to shift into that mindset of wanting to eat seasonal and local food. Because if you're really craving something, you know, and you go online to our site and you don't see it, a lot of the customer retention, that becomes an issue. You're not going to be able to hold on to people who are expecting the breadth and depth of what Whole Foods can offer. But at the same time, when you're eating something from Cow-op, you're eating something that was grown and picked in like the most ethical conditions. It's your neighbor. They're out there, they're getting well, not all farmers are getting a living wage, but they're getting, you know, to choose to live the life that they want to live. And I think that that's something that's really important moving forward into the future. It's a life where you aren't taking too many resources. You are sharing with the people who are closest to you in your geographical community. And when there are big issues, which have happened a lot in the last little while, there's the opportunity to, you know, help one another out, whether you need to receive the help or whether you can give the help. Either way, it's a model where you see all of these people in this beautiful place pulling together in order to literally sustain us, right? I mean, I can talk all day about why I think you should shop local, because you're eating food that is grown in the region that you also live in. So for your body to be able to adapt to the weather, your food has also adapted to that same weather, and it will support you better through the seasons in terms of getting you the nutrients you need to handle the wet weather or to live through the heat dome, you know? It's money directly into the pockets of small scale local farmers who are choosing to behave in a way that's regenerative or organic or permaculture and sustaining.
It pushes me both as a photographer and as a recipe developer, because the thing with when you're disabled, buying what is in season and being able to cook what is in season is the most economical and most affordable. And so having to set challenges for myself, like I can't wait till Lockwood Farms has their produce subscription boxes again, because it's like, here's a mystery box of produce that's going to show up on your door every single week. So now you have to figure out what you're going to cook from it. So being able to put myself in those positions where it's like I don't really have much control over what I'm purchasing in that way, but I also know it's going to be healthy. It's going to be climate appropriate. It's going to be ethically produced, and it's not going to be having that long journey from farm to table where it's losing nutrients. A lot of people don't understand that when they go to a regular grocery store, that the fresh produce is that much closer to dying, and the longer that it takes from something to be picked to eaten, it's losing nutrients in that journey. Whereas the co-op, it's picked and then it's on my table within like 3 days, And so it's still actually fresh, and it has still a lot of the benefits to it that you don't find when you're shopping at a major grocery store.
I think everybody could benefit from a more hobbit-like lifestyle. Part of what I really like, I put it on my resume when I applied to Cow-op. I literally put my name on the top and then local food enthusiast / part-time hobbit. And one of the reasons I do that is I think constantly of the line that Thorin has at the end of The Hobbit, where he says, if more of us valued good food and cheer over hoarded gold, we'd be in a better place. And I think that that's like the thesis statement of moving into the 21st century's hot mess that we're in, you know, after all of the calamities we've experienced. In our case, the dragons that hoard gold are people like Jeff Bezos, but like we can, you know, appreciate the place that we're from, and we can find comfort within reason. You know, we don't need to be ordering things that get here in 30 seconds that have come from the other side of the world. You know, like we can also support the same kind of convenience, like your food gets delivered to your door from Cow-op, but it comes with, you know, supporting your neighbors, and no one's getting exploited. And if you have trouble getting a crop to the table one day, you know, farmers reach out to the staff of Cow-op and say, I'm injured and I might need help with harvest, or I'm, you know, going through tough mental health times and I don't know how to, you know, get the work done that I need to get done. And with this collaborative model, it's like, yeah, I can show up to help you. I have Tuesday off. Like, I can help you with that harvest and drop your package off at Cow-op for packing. And that aspect of, I don't know, community care, and that aspect of looking at people as a whole instead of like what they can be productive for is something I think, you know, it's a bit hobbity. Yeah, I don't know. Working for Cow-op really like changed my mind about the way that the world should be and the way that I want to live my life. Like being able to know exactly who pulled my food out of the ground yesterday and the person that delivered it to my door the next day, and then to start prepping it to feed the people that I love. Like it's an entirely different sort of lifestyle, and it's a lot more work in a lot of ways than, you know, quickly going to the grocery store and getting a prepared meal. And that is, you know, how I've lived for a long time. But when I started to take the time to think about the systems and to think about the way that I'm participating in them, the easiest thing for me to make a really impactful change has been to eat local food. I think that's probably good. Yeah. Let's check on the food.